I've recorded over 200 episodes for this podcast now. And in that time, I've spoken to people changing the way that we view beauty, or people giving other people back their confidence through formulations, or people conserving biodiversity through ingredient production, people pioneering circular refill schemes for the first time ever in the cosmetics industry, people fishing mountains of plastic out to the ocean, people growing cosmetic packaging from mushrooms, people trying hard to eradicate child labor from cosmetic ingredients, people growing botanical ingredients in labs to reduce our footprint, and people trying really hard to make the beauty industry carbon negative. And what do all of these people have in common? Well, they are all just ordinary people, just like you and me, and they care. That's it. Now, this podcast is all about changing the beauty industry for the better. And every single week you hear me talk about the ways that different individuals are making change through indie beauty, through ingredients, through initiatives, through certification schemes. So this week, I want to talk to you about what you're doing and how you have the potential to help shape the beauty industry and its future. So let's get started. Hi, it's Lorraine Dallmeier, Chartered Environmentalist, Biologist, and CEO of award-winning online organic cosmetic formulation school, Formula Botanica. I host the Green Beauty Conversations podcast, and these are my green beauty opinions, in which I challenge the beauty industry's terrible track record on sustainability and share my thoughts on how we can make the beauty sector a better and more sustainable place. If you want to be the first to hear all of my latest episodes, make sure you subscribe to this podcast. Now, you might be listening to me today thinking, how could I make a change? I am just one person. But every movement, every difference starts with one person. As former US President Barack Obama once said, change will not come if we wait for some other person or some other time. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the change that we seek. Or listen to American cultural anthropologist Margaret Mead, who said, never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. Now, every week here on the podcast, you hear me talk to people who are doing exactly this. And as I interviewed Anna Boyardi of Anna B Cosmetics last week, who is also making a difference through her messaging and her formulations, I started to think about you, my dear listener. Now, you might occasionally listen, or you might listen to this podcast regularly. And I have a question for you. Do you also want to make a difference? Do you also want to help change the beauty industry? Do you also care deeply about sustainability? Now, if all of the conversations I'm having here and all of the opinions I'm sharing are resonating and landing with you, and you've decided that it's also time for you to have an impact, then I want you to realize that this is your time. I often talk to Formula Botanica students who are waiting for someone to give them permission to get started with their beauty business or get launched, or they want the blueprint to make change. So I've made that blueprint for you today. And here are my 3 ways through which you can help change the beauty industry. Firstly, I want to encourage you to only buy from companies that are truly, honestly doing the right thing. Not just hollow words on a website, but where you can actually see them talking about making a difference. Support those companies, please. It might be easy to just grab that shampoo bottle from a supermarket shelf or stick that lip balm in your basket when you're at the till. But the best way to make a difference is to vote with your wallet. That is always the place to start. That's how it's always been. The second way that you can change the beauty industry is by challenging all the brands, whether you buy from them or not. Ask them questions about their packaging, their ingredients, their marketing messaging, their operations, their impact, everything. Don't be scared to speak up. Your questions will challenge them. They might ignore you. They might give you a really rubbish response. They might not like it one little bit. Or they might engage and actually consider what you've asked. And other people watching you ask those questions might feel empowered to join you in asking them. And when multiple voices group together, that's when change starts to accelerate. So don't underestimate how powerful it is to ask questions. And the third way that you can make change in the beauty industry is by doing it yourself. Just like you heard Anna here on the podcast last week, She's making a difference by creating formulations that use the finest raw materials and really excite her customers. You could too. Imagine formulating your own beauty products, farm to face, like Anna said last week, that show people how it's done. Imagine receiving feedback from your customers that makes you feel emotional. Imagine creating a brand that can make change in the world. All of these things are within your reach. All you need to do is believe in yourself and take that first step. Remember, you will fail at 100% of the things that you don't do. So my challenge to you for this week is to think about the ways that you can make change, because there will be more things as well beyond the 3 that I've just mentioned. And I'm here to tell you that not only do you have the power to change the beauty industry, but you could also become a certified formulator and a beauty entrepreneur as part of that change. Our graduates are seeing change because they change their well-being and their lives through formulation. And you, much like them, could create your own movement too. So I should tell you that if you're listening to this on the day that this podcast episode comes out, Formula Botanica's International Organic Skincare Entrepreneur Program opens for enrollment tomorrow. It's the only program in the world that takes you from complete beginner to certified formulator and beauty entrepreneur. It is the vehicle for creating that change in the world. And if that sounds like you, head over to formulabotanica.com right now to take that first step in making that change. I'm excited for you. Thank you for listening to my Green Beauty Opinions. Remember to visit the Formula Botanica website at formulabotanica.com to try our free formulation course as well. And if you haven't subscribed yet to the Green Beauty Conversations podcast, please make sure you do so now in your favorite podcast app. Leave me a 5-star review if you enjoy the conversations I host, and I'll be back soon with my next episode.